Hello again, brothers and sisters. I have to admit that I'm actually a little bit excited by what I'm going to share with you in this video. Not long after I posted the last video, the Lord suddenly brought to my remembrance something from the past. It was a dream He had given me in 2018 that involved a significant scene about a calendar. Yes, a calendar of all things. That particular dream impacted me so much at the time that I typed it out and emailed it to the brother I am in ministry with. Clearly, that was a prompting from the Lord so that I could share it with all of you now. There were a lot of details in that dream, so yesterday I went to search for that email and refresh myself on it. Turns out that I had actually emailed it to myself as well first, and then a minute later out to the brother I share this walk with. I started reading through this dream and taking into consideration the week that we have all just had here in September. I couldn't believe what I was reading. All the imagery and emotions I had felt in the dream were flooding back to me, and I suddenly understood the context of it. At the time of receiving it, I didn't understand it at all. There were 3 different scenes in this dream. The first scene speaks to end times with marching military men and war and trying to hide. The second scene was very much a post-Rapture chaos scene with a plane crashing into a highway. Very typical of a Rapture dream, I have now come to learn after listening to so many dreams on the Cloud9 Blessings and Uplifted channels in the past year. But the third scene, that speaks to a calendar. Now, keep in mind, I really didn't know much about the Rapture beyond the basic concept until Feast of Trumpets last year. The Lord had me very busy in other areas. So this was not something I could have possibly influenced myself with in regards to thinking about or having discussions about or anything in any of my research. I'm going to put the full dream into the description so you can read all of it if you want to take a closer look at the details of the first 2 scenes. And I'm just going to focus on scene 3 of the calendar part for this video. I will show a screenshot now of the emails that were sent on December 12th, 2018 to verify that this was recorded all the way back then. I've just blocked out the personal information and the friend's name in scene 1. As you can see here, in this first email that I sent it at 7:24 a.m. And then the following email that I sent out to the other person, I sent that at 7:25 a.m. Interesting numbers considering the next number in Strong's, of course, would be 726, which is harpazo. This is already speaking Rapture to me. As I read this third scene to you, think about it from the emotions that we have right now and the pull that we have in our spirit that this is not over and that we were looking at the wrong calendar. I wrote for scene 3, I was then getting a bag together ready to flee as well. Something all of a sudden annoyed me, and it felt like the last straw. I had a calendar in my hand, and in response to this annoyance, I put the calendar on the bench, still upside down, and started ripping every page of it off one at a time. When I ripped the page out, I then folded it and ripped up that page into small pieces. My mother was standing next to me holding up a small bin, or a waste paper basket, that I was throwing it into when I finished ripping it. I saw that there were 2 cereal bowls in the bin as well, if that means anything. This was a very long process. I was doing it slowly and thoroughly until every page was done, even though I had just been getting ready to flee. This would be a standout moment in a dream for me because of how I felt in the slow process of it, and that it just kept going on and on. I had a very distinct perception of time through that scene, whereas I don't think I normally do in a dream. It was a dimly lit kitchen, but a really large space that felt more like a kitchen in a small warehouse. Keeping in mind the calendar was upside down, I would have ripped up December 1st. Wow. So I was fleeing with my bags packed, but then got rudely interrupted in that fleeing moment in a way that really annoyed me. Almost like the last straw. as if I really needed that kind of interruption to my fleeing. This week, I truly relate to that. I put the calendar on the bench that was upside down in my hand, and I placed it still upside down on the bench. That reminds me of what Brother Scott has just said in his video, that they have flipped the calendar. And it seems that the Lord made a very strong and particular point that every single page of that calendar had to be fully torn out, fully torn up, and thrown in the trash. I believe this is very specific reassurance and a comforting confirmation that this dream was meant for this time, and to confirm that the Gregorian calendar is scrapped and of no value in this September 23rd and 24th rapture situation. Being that the other two scenes in this dream also very clearly point to a rapture theme, it all seems very relevant for right now. The point was made that I was being interrupted with this calendar situation in the middle of fleeing, meaning fleeing was still going to occur. And that is a very encouraging factor to where we are right now as well. I wonder if the fact that my mother was holding this small bin or waste paper basket, if that is symbolic of the Revelations 12 woman and the birth. I'm not sure, but what are your thoughts? And I've really been trying to understand what the two cereal bowls in the waste paper basket represent, but I'm not getting any revelation on that just yet. I remember actually looking into that bin my mother was holding, and I was surprised to see them there, and I thought that it was strange that they were there. They felt very out of place, whereas the calendar was meant to be in there. Maybe some of you have some ideas of what those two bowls mean in relation to this week. It doesn't feel like it symbolizes the bowls of wrath, so it's something else. And the kitchen scene, well, that connects to the word feast. And the dimly lit lighting perhaps is symbolic of the fact we were all looking through the glass dimly of a wrong calendar. I think there is enough elements there to confirm this is about our calendar situation that we are living right now. And the Lord is saying to us that we are right. Not to mention that he just brought this to my remembrance right now with a little flash vision of it. Clearly, with the last two videos, the Lord has placed me into this situation. 2018 was the year that I stood in front of him twice in vision dreams, and I also had an additional experience following him on a trail in heaven where I only saw his feet and sandals and the hem of his shepherd's robe. 2018 was a big year for me, as it was also for Brother Joshua. And these experiences I had with Jesus just makes it impossible for me to give up on Brother Joshua. And then given the midnight message as well, I really believe the Lord is sending us a loud and clear message to stay the course. And he also shared to put into this video, trust your confirmations. 1808 to remove and to lift up. So trust your rapture confirmations. I hope that result boosts your confidence in the confirmations that you have received. You know who you asked for those confirmations from, and you know who delivered them because you know your shepherd's voice. I also hope that this dream provides clarity and reassurance to those who can feel the calendar truth brewing in their spirit and inspire renewed conviction as we are ridiculed for adjusting the timeline because it didn't happen at the time we thought it would. I know October 7th is a date that is being put on the table, and while I do not know if that is the day, and I'm no expert at all in the calendars, the Lord is giving us encouragement to keep searching out this matter with the words October 7th, 1278, crown. Another reminder for us to not let anybody steal our crowns. If this is the first time that you have seen this channel, the process of these number confirmations is explained in my first video, which was posted just prior to September 23rd. And if all that I have just shared there isn't enough, the Lord also pointed me back to Brother Paul's video of the rapture written on his calendar. Going back to listen to that after everything we have just been through in the last couple of days was pretty incredible. A calendar back in August was planted into the confirmations to give us a confirmation now that we are right about the calendars. And Brother Paul was actually talking about 2 calendars. He writes on one as a rough draft, but the second calendar is the correct one that he writes up neatly to give to everyone on the job. Sounds like the second calendar is pretty important. Brother Paul was even inspired to use that word flipped as well, like Brother Scott just did. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And I can tell you that the Lord truly put the word flipped on the table for the two of us in the past 7 years to let us know that word flipped has significance. This next line that the Lord gave, I received the other day, and I was actually going to put it in the last video, but He held me back from submitting it to that one. And that was without me having any knowledge that I was now going to be doing a specific calendar video. He said, I drew the trumpets on a calendar, 2021, to undertake, to put one's hand to. It truly blows the mind. And over in Hebrew, it is also chariot. He said, that is my handwriting, 1936, glory, majesty, and splendor. I don't know if he means he literally stood there and drew it, or he drew it through inspiration in another, or he breathed it into existence, but he is claiming responsibility. And he said to confirm that with the time that Brother Paul mentions that he sent a message in his family chat, and that was at 12:17 p.m, and it lands on Creator. And also Brother Paul is in construction, so the word builder is there confirming that as well. Don't you just love how detailed the Lord is? Everything means something. The Lord is telling us to be steadfast on our discovery of the wrong calendar being used. He is also saying very plainly, stand by Joshua, 1586, chosen. And that's not an easy job to be chosen for, especially now. Keep standing by Joshua, 1722, by and with. And now Jesus is going to show you a twist, like the twist in the plot this week. The next result, he is going to flip the numbers to confirm that the calendar is flipped and show you how he still makes everything fit to what he has said in the previous 2 lines as well. Stand by Brother Joshua, 1911. So he's flipping the 1911 to 1119. And again, just like the last result, it lands on by and with. So I'm standing by and with Brother Joshua, just as I'm sure all of you would appreciate from others if you were in his shoes. Once again, I hope this video has blessed and further encouraged those of you who are holding on to your own confirmations. What an unexpected and interesting time the Lord has made this.